We've got a lot to talk about this week, from questions about who's enforcing COVID violations to an MMA fighter whose next fight seems to be in the courtroom. I'm Tyler Mattinani, and here's your TrendSpotting report. So briefly, this week we topped more than 4,000 cases of COVID-19, and by Friday morning we were up to 69 deaths related to the virus. Now, many of us have been anxious to get back out there and dine at our favorite restaurants, and some of us have with limited seating outdoors. But it seems like McCrouts in Malolo is getting ahead of itself after several complaints of it violating COVID-19 restrictions. Complaints earlier in the month surfaced after the restaurant was seen swamped with customers. Public Health went in, cited, and admonished the restaurant. Last weekend, another complaint came in, but it brought up a question: who's supposed to enforce these public health mandates? The Guam Police Department responded to the complaint, but Chief of Police Steve Ignacio says it's not their territory, and according to Public Health's Janela Carrera, they too are trying to figure out the extent of their power of enforcement. Carrera said they've already been to McCrouts 4 or 5 times due to complaints, but have yet to shut it down. We asked you, who do you think is responsible for enforcing the rules? Our polls showed that 66% of you said Public Health, while 34% said GPD. With the virus still rampant in our community, staying safe has meant staying home. That has been especially true with kids who have had to transition to distance learning. But the Department of Defense schools announced it would be heading back into the classroom come October 26. Rear Admiral John Manoni cited the steady and low incidences of COVID-19 cases on bases, as well as the difference in population to the reopening decision. DoDEA schools also have had laptop exercises to practice procedures in the event of the virus popping up on campus.
We also added an additional one which placed the responsibility onus on the individual service members and their families to, if they are in a situation where people aren't adhering to masks, hygiene, physical distancing, that they have an obligation to leave, to get away from that.
At the earliest, Guam public schools could reopen in January since COVID cases continue to climb. We asked you, which direction do you prefer for our students? Many users expressing that their children and grandchildren are safer at home, and one in particular, Geneva, says, seeing the case go higher and higher, and as a student who has underlying medical problems, I'm better safe learning at home than to be at school wearing a mask, not knowing where the other students or teachers have been. Yes, education is important, but so is my health, and Lord forbids I catch the virus at school because the schools are open. Yes, being exposed might help my immune system become stronger, but let me tell you, my body is different. We react to virus differently, and I will not take the risk to be exposed to this, especially knowing my health, and I know other parents won't put their kids at risk as well. Just my opinion. And now to a story that couldn't slip under the radar. 36-year-old Baby Joe the Juggernaut Taminglo is the latest MMA star who seems to be in a different kind of fight. This week, Baby Joe was busted on a scooter, allegedly carrying a gun and drugs in its compartment. Baby Joe, however, couldn't keep his story straight, according to court documents. First, he said someone else put the gun in the scooter. Then he said he took it from a robber who dropped it after trying to hold up his store. Baby Joe also couldn't give cops any details on the alleged robbery or its suspect, and he didn't report the incident. With the meth found in his possession, it wasn't his either, he said. According to court documents, Baby Joe said he took it from his cousin to keep him from using it, but planned to return it. Here are some of your comments. Al Natasha Garrido saying, oh man, prayers for Baby Joe Taminglo and his family. May it not be too late to correct the errors. Prayers for all those whose lives have been affected through this drug. And Bernie Regis is saying, it's so sad how good people are destroyed by meth. And Anna Scambaluri saying, no judgment whatsoever. It's happening in so many families. And on to some heartwarming news. Shelly the Sea Turtle returned to the ocean after spending some 10 months in recovery. Shelly was found off Gab Gab Beach last December in distress and had since spent her time healing up at Underwater World from an intestinal blockage. The turtle was tagged and released and will hopefully be able to live a long and healthy life. And one more for you. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for several years, KUAM has helped spotlight the issue with Think Pink Day. Think Pink was celebrated on Thursday, commemorating the birthday of our office manager and breast cancer survivor, Christy St. Augustine. On this day, our team wears pink, provides awareness tips, and features tributes to both survivors and those we've lost.
Thank you to everyone that participated in Think Pink Day with us. 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with the disease in the U.S. alone, so it's important to raise awareness about early detection and support our friends and family members. We'll see you guys next week. Adios!